In this video, I'm going to talk about why women date men with multiple women. Hi, I'm Sharp Game coming at you with another video from ChooseYourRelationships.com, author of Love Can't Wait, which can be found on Amazon.com. Now, back in the day, when I was growing up, in my teenage years, I used to witness a lot of guys that dated multiple women, and as I got older, when I was about 17, I realized that every time they spent a significant amount of time around a woman, they portrayed the image that, or at least the perception that the only woman they were dating was just them. They acted like it was no one else. So they had relations with a lot of women, but they didn't have a relationship with any woman. So there's a difference. There's a difference between relations. Having relations means you spend a short amount of time with women, but if you have a relationship, not only are you spending a significant amount of time around women, but you're going somewhere. That's why we call it a relationship, because it's a vessel. You're going somewhere. But if you have relations, you just spend time around a woman, and once that time is up, see you next time. So that's basically the difference. But I realized that guys did not ever speak about what was going on outside or elsewhere, outside of this woman. And she did the same thing too. She acted like, it was like one of those taboo type subjects where it's like things didn't get talked about. Now, that doesn't mean she didn't know the guy had multiple women, because she knew that. She knew the guy was either married or he had a bunch of women he was dating and sleeping with, right? Now, most of the time, a lot of women will say, well, I didn't know he was married, I got hoodwinked. That happens sometimes, but majority of the times, most women know that these guys have multiple women, or even they're married. Now, some people might say, some guys would probably say, if these women know that these guys are married or have multiple women, why would they even get involved with them? And the truth is, it's like, there's a lot of reasons for that. I think one of the main reasons for that is because a lot of women kind of look at it like competition. A lot of women want to go after the top guy that's in the city or in the neighborhood or in the community or in the club or in the community or just in that environment. Whatever environment it is, they want the top guy. So if this guy is in demand, women are very competitive amongst each other, so they want him. Plus, a lot of women feel like they feel good when they're in this guy's presence. A lot of women, more than likely, like themselves better around this man, because this man brings out a side of her that she doesn't experience very often. So they want that sensation. They want that feeling that this guy gives her that she doesn't get anywhere else very often. So a lot of that has a lot to do with it as well. So it's not only it's much more than a competitive thing. It's much more of, if a woman sees a guy and she finds out that maybe he's not a likable guy, maybe women don't like him for whatever reason. If she finds that out, she's gonna say, well, maybe something's wrong with him. So if they don't want him, I don't want him either. So see, that's the That's the kind of like the herd mentality in a sense. But a lot of women look at it like that, because they're gonna say, well, if he's 32 and he's never been married, never been in a long-term relationship, women aren't, he's not in demand, women aren't picking up on him, I guess something might be wrong with him. So if they don't want him, I don't want him. So that's the most women's way of thinking. That's not always true, but that's most women's way of thinking. As a matter of fact, you might probably experience this more than likely. It's been times where I went to a club, and I probably had a couple friends with me or whatever. And when we go to the club, we used to go to have a good time. We didn't necessarily go there to pick up women. But I noticed when we first got there, no one knows us, from a can of paint, basically. So we go to the bar, get a couple of drinks, probably start dancing, and no one knows us. Maybe we tried to talk to a couple of people, nothing happened, right? Now, we didn't start getting women's attention until we actually started talking to women and going on the dance floor. And that's when a lot of women saw that, because they were trying to figure out, well, who's these new guys? We never seen them before. So that's when they become curious. Now they're interested. Now they want to talk. Now, see, they didn't want to talk in the beginning, initially. They only wanted to talk once they saw us with women. And see, this happens all the time. It's just, more than likely, this probably happened to you, or it's happened to some guy that you knew, or you probably observed this happening. And there's just, I think a lot of women have a competitive nature. And a lot of women want what they can't have, too. That's another thing, So, and they're very competitive amongst each other. A lot of women, secretly, they really don't like each other. They just tolerate each other. But if you're talking to a man that she wants, she'll stab you in your back to get him. If the opportunity comes about, So it's that competitive nature that they have amongst each other. See, a lot of women will say one thing in front of a certain group of women, and when they leave, she's doing something else. And this is pretty common amongst them, So, so it's kind of like that competitive nature that women have, along with, they just sit back and observe, and, they want the top guy. They want the guy that everyone else wants. If the other women don't want him, I don't want him either. And I'm kind of like that to a certain extent when it comes to women, But to a certain extent, though, I don't necessarily want to be with the woman that every guy wants. Not necessarily, But I'm kind of like, there's a certain type of women that I like, So I kind of like, she don't necessarily have to be in demand. Everyone doesn't necessarily have to want to be with her. And she doesn't necessarily have to be the type of girl that's going to get all the looks on the sidewalk. She can get some of that. Some of that is cool, But there's certain things that I look for. And that's a video for another day. But this is mainly some of the main reasons why women want guys that date other women or have other women. Like I said again, these guys could be married. They could have, they could be in open relationships. They could have just date multiple women, etc. But a lot of that has to do with her competitive nature, her situation, the position that she in, and some of these women are married as well. You know, so some of these women, they do things on the side, cheat or sneak around, and then some of these women, older women especially, they're in open relationships, or they might not necessarily say they're in a quote open relationships, but she can do what she want to do when she leave the house because she knows she's coming back home. And same as guys, they might not say they're in a quote open relationship, but when he leave the house, do what you do and come back home. You know, there's a lot of older people, when I say older people, 50s and 60s, they have relationships like this, where it's like, they're not going to say, there's no official title for them being in an open relationship, but, you know, they can, you know, go outside, do whatever, have a good time, and just bring your butt back home when you're done. That's all, you know. So, that's all I got for this video. Well, if you like what you heard, subscribe to my channel, share this video with anybody that you think that would like it or see it as value, and check me out on Instagram, Sharp Game, and check out my website, chooseyourrelationships.com, for the books, gear, and all that good stuff. And subscribe to my email list over here too. So until next time, I'm out. Peace!